Welcome back to video number 3 in our Sovereign Chess series. This is a video about controlling armies of different colors. My name is Mark Bates. I'm the creator of Sovereign Chess. It's good to have you here with us on this series. Before we dive in, you might notice that we have a new setup here. This is the beginning of what we hope is a really robust web app, web program that helps people play Sovereign Chess. This is made by developer Al Nguyen, who's a fan of Sovereign Chess, who reached out to me and wanted to develop something where we could play online. You may access this right now by going to playsovereignchess.com. Playsovereignchess.com. Using this, you can go through. You can make moves. It does a really good job of rules enforcement. There are some edge cases with some things that we're still working out the bugs on, but one of the nice features is that you can copy the URL of the position and send it to someone. So it's a great way to play over the web. You can send it through email. We've done this on iOS devices. We've done quite a bit of testing on this. We're really excited about this. So again, playsovereignchess.com if you want to see this setup here and test it out a little bit. We're going to talk, though, today about looking at armies of other colors. If you watched some of our previous videos on Sovereign Chess, you can tell that of course, in a regular Sovereign Chess game, it's only 2 players. Looks like it might be more, but we have a full complement of white pieces down here, just like regular chess. We have a full complement of black pieces up there. And then along the sides, we have pieces of a lot of different colors. And so, of course, the goal of the game is you kind of have to use those pieces of other colors in order to checkmate your opponent even faster. So what I want to do is I just want to walk through just how some kind of simple openings go, but how they already look at some of the different philosophies behind how we control colored pieces in Sovereign Chess. So we're just going to play a little short start of a game here. I'm going to make a move here as white. I'm going to pretend white is pushing up this rook pawn. This is a very common move in Sovereign Chess. Wouldn't be in regular chess, but you can see white is going for that red square there. Black's going to move their pawn down to the blue square. And of course, we're going to move white onto red and black onto blue. So now white controls the red pieces over here and down there, and black controls the dark blue pieces, what we call the navy pieces, up there and over there. Now, this is where kind of some of the strategy is going to look a little bit different. White's going to push another pawn out here to another color, but black's going to take advantage of the fact that they control blue. They're going to move this blue pawn out. Let's see, white will move another pawn out here, getting closer to pink. And black will now move their blue bishop out here to orange. White can push another pawn. Black, now that they control blue and now orange, they can pull out the orange knight. We'll push another pawn up here. Black will move their orange knight over there, and maybe we'll push a pawn up here, and then black will move on to green. Now, this is a very interesting situation. I mean, both players control multiple colors. White controls red and pink. They could potentially control purple, or what I call violet. They might be giving up a little bit of defense here on this pawn that's on pink. Black, of course, controls dark blue, navy, and orange and green at the same time. But of course, you can kind of see the different ways that you can control other colored armies. You can control armies with a piece that you own or with another piece that you control. So I would say that this white pawn and this white pawn over here are owned pieces because they're in white's original army, along with this black pawn here. But then this blue bishop that's on the orange square and the orange knight that's on the green square are controlled pieces. And so those are kind of different philosophies, right? What's the advantage and the disadvantage of either? Well, obviously, white's controlling fewer colors per piece, but of course, if white wants to move their pawn off of red, they don't lose control of pink, or vice versa. This pink square here, by the way, they have the advantage of going into this 4x4 square and actually promoting to a queen if they wanted to do that. Black here their pawn is kind of stuck. I mean, if they they could move it, of course, but if they do, then all of a sudden, not only do they lose control of dark blue, but of orange and green simultaneously. Since it is white's turn, white could now maybe put pressure by, let's say, moving the red pawn out here. Even though it's kind of naked and unprotected, black's probably not going to capture it because it can't get back to that square really easily to control the other colors. And so you can kind of see that there's going to be a lot of fight here for this square, right? We're gonna start to really maybe I'll push this red. Okay, now we've exposed the red rook, so all of a sudden there's a lot of different pieces that are out here controlling this one square. This one square all of a sudden becomes very, very important for black. White knows that, so white's going to start attacking, and of course they're attacking with pieces that they don't necessarily really care about because they can lose those red pieces without abandon, and that's not going to cause a problem down the road there. So you can kind of see already the difference between controlling colors with owned pieces or with other pieces you control. Let's go to another board setup here. This is just another board that's just literally after 2 moves. This is white. You can see they use their 2 moves to control going to the red square there. Black used their first move to open up the pawn and then to pull out their black queen to the blue square. Again, very similar to how we started the last game. White controls red, black controls blue. But now this queen is in a tricky position because if black does start to, let's say if I start moving some pieces out here for white, if black does start to develop the blue pieces, kind of, wanting to attack the pawn on the red square here, then they're kind of getting into a position here where they have to commit to keeping the black queen on blue, right? Because if they move the black queen off of blue there, so I'm just moving another piece out here. If they move the black queen off of blue, then they threaten to, well, then they would lose control of those pieces. They could actually jump to the other blue square. That could always be a tricky endeavor as well. But, part of the key is, that you kind of lose a little bit of the freedom that a queen provides if you have to keep it on a certain colored square in order to control the pieces of that color. Let me show you a situation actually from a game that I was playing recently where this is really important, right? So here's a game, white and black. The player playing black looks like they're in a pretty good situation considering that they control red, they control green. White doesn't seem to be controlling any colors at the moment. And more importantly, white has been clearly using the green pieces to decimate this side of the white army. The white queen's gone and other pieces are missing. And white seems pretty ready to close out the game. They've kind of got the white king hemmed in because they control green, and this green rook kind of blocks most methods of escape. And so what black would like to do is black would like to just come down with this queen here and kind of come to either of these squares here and checkmate the king. Now, of course, this king here is in red. That's a nice feature of this program because it is in check. But the problem is, while the black queen thinks that it's being defended by the green rook, the moment they move off the green square, they don't control green anymore, and the white piece can just capture it and get out of trouble pretty quickly. And so this is, again, one of the disadvantages of using your queen to control a color, because you just can't jump off that when you want to. If you do, you lose controls of those colors, sometimes with kind of fatal consequences. Here's a similar situation, almost the exact same board situation as previously, except you can see that black has maneuvered this where they control the green army with their black pawn up here. The queen down here is kind of in a similar position, but free to roam. And now not only can they come down here, but this is in fact literally checkmate. There's no way for white to get out of this. The message is hidden on the screen there that says black wins, but that is important there. And then of course, just one other feature of the board is where the different colors are and kind of how they have some angles of attack. We've talked about this just a little bit in previous videos. You can kind of see for black, if they can control the pink or the green armies, that can have a devastating effect on white. And of course, there are similarities for white. If white can land on the purple or the yellow colors, then they're kind of right in black's territory as well. And then, of course, you have a lot of different angles of attack. Again, if white is able to control, let's say, pink, they might keep their defenses up here, but then on this side of the board, they would have those pieces open. There's a lot of good angled attacks on the king that can come in that direction. And you can see that, again, we talked about this earlier, everything in Sovereign Chess is symmetrical. So whatever one army can do on one side with one angle, with one set of pieces, the other side can do with a different set of pieces very similarly. So the game is very balanced that way. We'll talk a little bit further down the road about the strategic importance of the gray pieces, these light gray pieces, which we call ash over here and down there, and then the dark gray pieces that we call slate. Those are a little bit more hemmed in. They're more powerful armies, but they're a little bit more hemmed in. And so we'll do some sample games pretty soon and kind of show how those can get used to good effect. So hopefully you're starting to see a little bit that this game is not as maybe chaotic as it looks, but there really is a strategy and some good tactics behind controlling armies of different colors in order to checkmate your opponent a lot more quickly. Again, if you have any questions, you can email me, Mark, M-A-R-K, at sovereignchess.com. Of course, you can go to my website, infinitepiegames.com, where you can see more about Sovereign Chess and our other game, World Cup, if you're a fan of World Cup soccer. And definitely do check out playsovereignchess.com, where you can also check out the game as well. I look forward to seeing you soon. Play well, have fun, see you in the next video.